Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with a young boy named Thor Heyerdahl in a snowy landscape. Despite the cold, there is water where the snow has melted, revealing two pieces of ice floating on the surface. On one of these ice chunks, an axe is visible. A group of children is present, but none of them dare to approach the icy water. Thor, however, decides to venture out, despite their warnings. He carefully picks up the axe, but on his way back, he slips and falls into the frigid water. He begins to drown, but one of his friends bravely rescues him. Back at home, Thor's father reprimands him, insisting that he must have learned his lesson, and urging him to promise never to take such risks again. Thor remains silent, not committing to his father's plea. As time passes, moving on to 1937, Thor has grown up, and developed a passion for exploring different places. He is now an ethnographer and an adventurer. Onto the beach of an island in Polynesia, a region known for its more than 1,000 islands. Some of these islands are independent nations, and most are territories of other countries. Thor now resides on one of these islands, immersing himself in the study of the local lifestyle and the people. His curiosity and adventurous spirit have led him to this remote and fascinating part of the world. One day, while he is sitting with his girlfriend Liv, near an old man on the island, he becomes curious about the origins of the island's inhabitants. He asks the old man where his elders and ancestors came from. The old man explains that Tiki, the sun god, brought them to these islands. He points eastward, across the ocean, and tells Thor that everything comes from the east: the sun, the wind, electricity, and even their ancestors. The old man elaborates that their ancestors began their journey in the east, where the sun rises, and traveled westward, guided by the sun. This idea fascinates Thor, as it contradicts the common belief that the islanders' ancestors came from Asia. Instead, the old man suggests they came from the east, which Thor deduces to mean South America. The old man then takes them to see a statue of their ancient god, Tiki. This further intrigues Thor, as he realizes that the local legends support the idea that the islanders originated from South America, not Asia. The old man's story aligns with what Thor has learned from his 10 years of research on the island. By 1946, he had dedicated a decade of his life to studying the people and culture of Polynesia. He writes a book detailing his findings, and concludes that the old man's stories were accurate. Undeterred by skepticism, he visits Professor Herbert Spinden, a publisher, to propose his book on the theory that South Americans migrated to Polynesia on balsa wood rafts. However, Professor Spinden dismisses his theory, arguing that for 1,500 years, it has been accepted that Polynesians originated from Asia, a region with advanced technology and seafaring capabilities. Thor defends his theory, explaining that ancient South Americans constructed balsa wood rafts capable of ocean voyages. Professor Spinden scoffs and challenges him to prove his theory by sailing a balsa wood raft from South America to Polynesia, an 8,000-kilometer journey across treacherous seas, and promises to publish the book if he succeeds, knowing such a journey would be impossible on a primitive raft. Facing financial hurdles, Thor turns to National Geographic magazine for support. He boldly proposes to embark on an 8,000-kilometer voyage, on a historically accurate raft, devoid of modern amenities. The magazine owner expresses concern, questioning his sanity, and refusing to fund what seems like a suicidal mission. Undeterred by these rejections, he prepares to embark on the daring adventure, to prove his controversial theory, and rewrite the history of human migration. His journey on a balsa wood raft becomes a quest for validation and discovery, challenging established beliefs, testing the limits of human endurance in the vast Pacific Ocean. Later, he visits a club, where he meets seasoned sailors, and presents them with his balsa wood raft idea, seeking their support. One sailor warns of the challenges, pointing out that the ropes tying the wood together could fail quickly, potentially leading to a disastrous outcome at sea. Disheartened by their skepticism, he leaves the club. Among the club's attendees is Herman Watzinger, an engineer who overhears their conversation. Intrigued by the ambitious plan, Herman approaches him, and offers his support. Thor learns of his engineering expertise, and welcomes him into the team. Despite gaining a valuable ally, Thor still needs funding for the expedition. He calls his wife Liv, informing her that he will not be home for Christmas, as he embarks on his journey. Liv pleads with him not to go, fearing the danger, but he insists that his decade-long research will be in vain if he does not proceed, and disconnects the call, determined to prove his theory. Thor and his team, including Knut Haugland, the radio expert, and Eric Hesselberg, the navigator and artist, gather at a wood stockpile, 5 members in total. Thor emphasizes the importance of adhering strictly to their balsa wood raft's design, to maintain the authenticity of their claim. Seeking financial support, he meets José Bustamante, the president of Peru, who arranges funding through contacts in the US Navy. The news of their upcoming expedition spreads, attracting attention. Bengt Danielsson, a Swedish ethnographer, joins the team to document the journey. On April 28, 1947, amidst a crowd bidding them farewell on the shore, Thor Heyerdahl and his team set sail on their raft. Many believe they may never return, considering the enormity of the sea and the smallness of their vessel. Their journey begins with hope, determination, and a quest to rewrite history. As the team sails deeper into the sea, they equip themselves with a small rescue boat, provisions, and a radio. Their journey encounters its first major challenge one night, when a fierce storm strikes. Thor, trying to secure the raft's curtain, falls into the water, unable to swim. His companions act swiftly, and rescue him from the perilous sea. The storm leaves their raft damaged by morning, but they manage to make repairs, and continue their voyage through calmer waters, toward their destination. However, the journey proves more arduous than anticipated. They encounter a shark at one point, and begin recording it, fascinated by the marine life around them. Herman Watzinger, unnerved by the shark's proximity to their fragile raft, reacts impulsively, and attempts to fend off the shark with a weapon. His actions unintentionally endanger the raft. The weapon's rope snags on the shark, causing it to thrash wildly. The crew narrowly avoids disaster, but tensions rise among them. Conflict arises between Knut Haugland and Herman Watzinger over the reckless act. Knut admonishes Herman for potentially putting them in grave danger. Thor asserts his leadership, quelling the dispute, and reminding them to focus on the journey ahead. As the days pass, their radio malfunctions, severing their communication with the outside world. Herman becomes increasingly distraught, convinced their raft is doomed to sink, leading to their demise. The team faces the daunting reality of their isolated journey across the vast Pacific Ocean, uncertainty and challenges testing their resolve. Later in their journey, Bengt Danielsson moves away from the wood raft in a rubber boat to capture video footage. However, he encounters looming sharks, ready to attack. Thor and his team spot the danger and swiftly pull Bengt back onto the raft, using a rope tied to the rubber boat. They breathe a sigh of relief as they successfully rescue him. The sea remains fraught with danger, sharks a constant threat. One of the crew members has a pet parrot that tragically becomes prey to a large shark, much to Knut's dismay. When another shark approaches the raft, the crew manages to lift it by its tail and hoist it onto the raft, resolving the confrontation. However, the scent of blood from the encounter attracts more sharks, heightening tensions aboard the raft. Herman, increasingly fearful for their safety, suggests reinforcing the raft with iron wires to fend off further attacks. Thor, adamant about following ancient methods, dismisses the idea and throws the wires overboard. Frustrated, Herman becomes angry and slips into the water in a moment of heated exchange. Before he can become shark food, his comrades pull him back, saving his life. He apologizes for his outburst, realizing his mistake and challenging Thor's leadership during this journey. Despite the challenges and uncertainties, Thor remains steadfast in his belief that they are on the right course. 3 months into their journey, their radio miraculously starts working, allowing them to broadcast a message to the world. Their transmission creates a stir globally, challenging long-held beliefs about human migration. Amidst the turmoil of the sea and the trials of their voyage, Thor Heyerdahl and his team press onward, driven by determination to rewrite history. On August 7, 1947, after completing 101 days at sea, the crew aboard the Kon-Tiki expedition experiences a moment of joy, as Eric Hesselberg spots a bird flying overhead, a sign they are nearing land. They rejoice at the sight of an island on the horizon, but their journey is not yet over. They must navigate through colossal waves to reach the Polynesian island. As they approach, the waves threaten to engulf their raft, but through a stroke of luck, they safely land on the shores of Polynesia. Thor Heyerdahl, despite lacking swimming or sailing skills, successfully completed the perilous 4,300 nautical mile journey across the Pacific Ocean from Peru to Polynesia, on a small balsa wood raft. Alongside his crew of 5 men, they named their vessel Kon-Tiki, after the Inca god of sun and storm. During the 3 months at sea, the crew conducted scientific reenactment of the legendary voyage, challenging established prevailing beliefs each day, and proving that ancient South Americans could have made similar voyages centuries ago. Upon his return, Thor faced personal challenges, including divorcing his wife Liv. Undeterred, he decided to commemorate their historic journey, establishing the Kon-Tiki Museum in Oslo, ensuring that their remarkable achievement would be remembered and celebrated for generations to come. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.